Defense types in Beyblade X are starting to make more appearances in official tournaments around the world. Many are tanking the competition all the way to the finals, while some others are just hanging on by a thread in the first few rounds. But either way, they are starting to make a massive comeback in Beyblade X, and here we have 15 of the best Beyblade X defensive type combos bladers around the world are currently using. Defense types are by far the hardest types in Beyblade X to take a solid win with without some intense and unwavering training and practice. But with recent releases, parts have been becoming available that are making defense types take a rise in the competitive scene, making them even tougher to beat with brute force. Now, after some time, I was able to do some digging around some various platforms and recorded tournaments to compile a list of defensive builds bladers can take to a tournament and do quite well with. Now, some combos do well in certain fields, meanwhile others have completely risen to the Beyblade X meta, becoming staple combos in many bladers decks. So, let's dive into the top 15 best Beyblade X defensive type combos that, here's the twist, do not use Hexa. But before we continue on with this video, if you want any of these parts or bays for yourself, go check out malloftoys.com, sponsor of this channel. Now they have everything you need to kickstart your career as a pro blader, from launchers to stadiums and to the latest releases of Beyblade X, including the pre-orders of the all-new Shark Scale deck set and Samurai Caliber. Just make sure you guys use code LETSSPINBASE2 at checkout to knock yourself off 5% of that total cost of it in the end. That is malloftoys.com. So starting things off, not necessarily in any particular order for at least the first few bays, we have Black Shell M85 Wedge. Now at first I was hesitant on this combo. I have been very iffy on the M85 Ratchet since its release and trying to find a decent combo with it. But after giving this combo a try, I was rather impressed by its defensive capabilities. It was able to tank some solid hits with the extra weight given to it with the M85 Ratchet. Now I personally would label this as a Swiss rounder, meaning that it does pretty well in the early rounds, but it may be phased out or overpowered as you climb your way up in the brackets. Now overall though, this combo was quite surprising and stable and did not burst nearly as much as I would have anticipated it to do so. Aesthetically, it also looks amazing. Now the next combo we have is going to be that of Knight Lance 360 Under Needle. Now this one doesn't surprise me all that much, and I am quite happy to see Knight Lance making a return to the competitive scene. I personally love Knight Lance. Now the blade excels in some gnarly counterattacks that could even burst base such as Wizard Rod on ball. Giving it Under Needle was a smart move for this blade. I did give this combo a shot and it was fairly decent as well, performing even better than my 360 low flat combo by far. Now using the Under Needle bit and the 360 ratchet, the blade is fully complemented in its design by allowing for it to sit even lower to the ground and being able to make some nasty counter attacks. Now next up we have Hell's Chain 560 High Needle. Now this was another combo that kind of took me off guard. It is a combo I have seen maybe once, maybe twice since Beyblade X came out, but I slapped it together and gave it a shot and was quite impressed. The combination of the 560 and the High Needle gave us some solid stamina and complemented the curvatures of the blade, which gave us some pretty unique counter attacks that destabilized most bays it went up against. With the High Needle being a slightly wider than Needle, its performance is slightly better in general, but it is still not the best defensive bit out there. However, with this combination, it surprisingly worked very well. Now next up we have is Perseus Dark Charge 360 Dot. I personally love this combo. It is an absolute tank of a bay for sure. Dot is one of my favorite defensive bits as well, but overall this combo complements everything pretty well with some good synergy. Now Charge aligns with the Perseus Dark blade almost perfectly and also lowers and exposes the metal contact points more so than Bumper or some of the other assist blades do in the CX line. Now the 360 ratchet further complements the blade, focusing even more energy on the main contact points of it. And lastly, the dot bit gives Percy Stark the ability to land some nasty counterattacks while maintaining high friction on the stadium floor, which makes it harder to get wrung out. Now, his biggest weakness is most definitely the stamina. However, this combo is going to rely heavily on the early game knockouts with just raw brute force. Now, the next combo we have is Knight Mail 360 Under Needle. Now, this is an amazing defensive combo with high recoil and insane stability. Knight Mail's blade in and of itself is already part of the meta and has been since its release. However, it is pretty refreshing to see it being used defensively rather than the standard offensive builds that dominate its meta forms. Now, this combination, however, offers a good mix of stagnant attack power and stamina, utilizing the dumpling shape of its blade to the fullest with some nasty, quick, and aggressive counter attacks. Now, as always, I like to test these combos out for myself, and this one was quite impressive as well, and one I may run myself in a future tournament. Alright, and now we have one of my own personal favorite defensive combos, and one I have personally used to take second place in one of my tournaments against 24 other bladers, and that is Leon Crest 480 Dot. Now, this is an amazing defensive combo that excels in both absorbing some heavy hits and smashing hard into his opponents to destabilize them. From experience, his height does expose it to some over finishes. However, with the friction of the dot that it creates, it does help counter those upper attacks and smash down on the opponents. Now, for a full defensive Leon Crest combo, this one works perfectly and is one of my own personal favorites. So next up we have is Hover Wyvern 960 Under Needle. Now, Hover Wyvern was a stock defense and fresh out of the box was instantly one of the best blades in Beyblade X. It is highly versatile blade, working well with every typing. Keeping it as a defensive type is interesting choice, but this combo keeps it low and difficult to burst, which is pretty important due to the high recoil the blade has. Now, Under Needle keeps it even lower to the ground. Now, this combo is fantastic and one of the best defensive combos a blader can currently use in the competitive field that has taken many bladers quite far in the brackets. Next up is a combo for Tyranno Beat that scored me my first ever tournament win and has been a tank ever since then, and that is Tyranno Beat 960 Under Needle. Now, Tyranno Beat has a naturally round design, but with some sharp jagged edges that can be used offensively as well as defensively. Tyranno Beat is a highly versatile blade that can be used with multiple combos very effectively. 960 is great for the Under Needle bit due to the high burst resistance, and with Under Needle being fairly prone to bursting in of itself, so it does balance the combo out fairly well. Overall though, Tyranno Beat 960 Under Needle is a tank of a bay and is able to withstand some of the hardest attacks that I have ever seen in the game while still retaining some insane balance and stability, outspinning most bays even after some violent recoils. So now we're getting into some of the more seriously tough and shocking defensive combos that I have went up against myself or at least seen in the tournament scene that completely blew my mind. These next few defensive combos are definitely ones you're going to want to keep your eye out for sure. So the next combo we have is going to be that of Silver Wolf 960 High Needle. Now, as I said before, it is pretty surprising to see High Needle on this list, but at the same time, kinda not. High Needle is highly underrated in my opinion. Its shape does differ from the standard needle and is a bit optimized for more performance. Now, I didn't have to test this combo out for myself because I went up against it a couple different times in the tournament. Now, the first time I seen this combo in a tournament, it was completely crushing and outspinning a lot of the other bays and delivering some pure blunt force trauma against bays that sent them straight into the pocket or extreme zone. Now, it did catch me off guard quite a bit and I did lose both matches against it, so this is a solid choice for a defensive combo. Golem Rock 660 Under Needle. Now, it's definitely not surprising to see Golem Rock up in this list. Since day one, the Golem Rock Bay has become an instant part of the meta and the face of what defensive bays should be in Beyblade X, with decent weight, shape, weight distribution, and the whole package. Golem is another exceptionally versatile blade that is not restricted into performing with only one combo. Almost near stock combo, switching out only the ratchet for the 660 does give it near perfect alignment with a massive boost in stamina. It is also great in countering the low burst resistance of the Underneedle bit. Overall though, this is a tank that can easily beat bays such as Phoenix Wing on low rush or even Aero Pegasus on rush. Now we have another Golem Rock combo, and that's going to be with 680 Wedge. Now this combo I have gone up against multiple times in events and tournaments, and it is a beast. This combo is absolutely fantastic and one highly recommended to try out. Now similar to the previous combo for Golem, the 6-side ratchet complements the blade very well in almost perfect synchrony. Giving it the 80 height and the wedge bit does make it seem more prone to bursting and ring outs. However, it works well with how the blade is designed, which does make it harder to hit the ratchet. Now I do think this combo is amazing. It is used highly by our highest ranked blader here in Boise, cabled with his cabled aura. Now next up we have the large scale tournament winning combo, and that is Silver Wolf 970 Wedge. Now this combo does perform far better than the previous Silver Wolf combo. It does set at a perfect height for the Silver Wolf blade, which makes it capable of using both this gimmick and the smooth metal blade up on top, which is perfect in defending and tanking some major hits from the meta. Now this combo was part of the state qualifying winning deck and was a complete powerhouse, outspinning rods, dragoons, and other meta combos in the game. Wedge is just fantastic. Now it isn't surprising to see so many combos using Wedge on this list, to be honest, but overall I love this combo. It was difficult to beat by and face off against for sure. 10 out of 10 for Blader Doom and this combo for sure. I do love seeing existing meta bays utilizing less common parts and still ranking so high in the meta scene. So next we have probably one of the most shocking combos you're going to see in this list, and that's Drasil Shield 460 Bound Spike. Now of all the X over bays and remakes, Drasil remains only one of 2 remakes that are perfectly balanced. Now despite the lightweight build in general, it has proven to be a complete menace in the Beyblade X scene. With 460 adding some weight distribution to it, as well as the Bound Spike, I do find that Bound Spike works far better on a lighter bay. The gimmick is easier to activate with the Bound Spike bit, allowing for Drasil to better absorb incoming attacks, and believe me, it can. At nearly 10 grams lighter than bays such as Aero Pegasus and Phoenix Wing, this combo tanks and completely absorbs the attack like a sponge, outspinning them nearly every battle. Now it is fully capable of competing up against bays such as Dragoon on Elevate in terms of stamina and defensive prowess. Its biggest weakness is going to be stamina type bays, but other than that, it can smash its way through any attack you send. Now this combo is a doozy for sure, but we have Shark Edge 455 Underneedle. Oh my god. You have not seen unpredictability until you have gone up against this combo. Shark Edge on 455 Underneedle is the true short king of Beyblade X, and as a passive aggressive build, the impact that can occur when it is attacked is just mind-blowing. Many times a single attack against it can cause your bay to burst easily or be thrown around the stadium violently, making you fear for your own stadium's life. Now I love this combo after trying it out myself. It does share the same risk all 455 ratchets and Underneedle bits face, which is the burst resistance. 455 is a phenomenal ratchet, but does have a tendency of being good for only one tournament before it needs to be replaced. Underneedle is exceptionally easy to burst, but with this combo, as much as it shouldn't work, it does work out quite well. And now we have come to one of the best defensive combos used in Beyblade X right now. And any guesses on who you might think it may be? I'll give you guys a moment to contemplate on who you think it is and comment down below what combo you think is the best defensive type combo in Beyblade X. So if you guessed Triceratops 070 Wedge, you would be correct. Now, I don't say this just because it is my combo. Bladers around the world are starting to use this combo with similar and unbelievable results. Triceratops is flat out amazing blade and completely takes the cake as the best defensive blade in Beyblade X. Much like Golem Rock, it is a highly versatile blade and not restricted solely to a defensive combo such as 070 Wedge, but in terms of defense, this combo is prime defense. For myself, it was my best running combo in the state qualifier, having done better than Hover Wyvern and Tyranno Beat, both of whom were in my deck for this tournament. This combo here has become a staple for any future decks. Now, despite it struggling against Goon and Rod in solo testings, I did find that during actual tournament play, it does not do too bad up against those combos. Now, Triceratops 070 Wedge is a master at over finishes and extreme finishes against most bays it went up against, even outspinning a whole lot of the Spamina builds. Now, defense is starting to get some love from Takara Tomy, and I for one am absolutely excited about that. Defense types are one of the most popular types in Beyblade X, with some of the most loyal followers to the typing. Now, if you are a defensive blader and found this video to be helpful in broadening your combo variations, be sure to comment below your thoughts. And for everyone else, what combos have you guys seen that are defensive builds that have been entering into tournaments and taking everyone by surprise? That is everything for this video, but stay tuned because we do got Pegasus Blast, Rock Leone, and the entire Server of Flame random booster set that we're going to be diving into and checking out in the next few videos. So be sure that you have hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already, and ring that bell notification so you don't miss out on the next epic video. However, in the meantime, have yourselves a great morning, day, or night, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.